Hello, good evening, and welcome to Become a Better Man. My name is Tunde Disu, and happy New Year. Welcome to 2019. Well, it's been a great 2018 was a great year. We did cover a lot of ground. As you remember, during our last program, we went through all the topics that were covered during the year 2018. But hey, we're back in 20 where we're now in 2019, and this is our very first program of 2019. So I want to extend a special welcome to all of you that are joining us on this program today, especially all our returning members and partakers of this platform, and especially the new ones, those that are joining us for the very first time. You are very welcome. My name again is Tunde Disu, and this platform is called Become a Better Man or Become a Better You, man as in generic, which includes men and women. So thank you for being part of today's program. This year is going to be different. This year we're going to really dig deeper than we did last year. We're going to be more focused, more direct, and more involved with the programs that we'll be doing this year. My plan is to take some of these programs on the road, have some interviews, have some guests on the program as well. Do whatever we have to do to make it better, to make it richer, to add more grace and more strength and more value to all the things that we'll be doing this year on this platform. So, buckle your belt and let's start. For 2019, for this our very first program, we are going to be looking at the title or the topic on focus. Focus. You'll remember during the last two programs of 2018, we looked at the idea of New Year resolution. New Year resolutions, and which is a norm, it's a practice that a lot of people get into. They drop New Year resolutions, and so we looked at the last two programs. We were looking at the benefits, or rather the pros and the cons of New Year resolutions, and also we looked at alternative ways of preparing yourself for going into a new year without without being saddled with the burden and the weight of New Year resolutions. So that was how we ended the year. This year we're starting to look at focusing on what is it we want from this year. What is it we want from this year? Zig Ziglar of blessed memory said something. He said, I don't care how much power, how much brilliance or energy you have, if you don't harness it, and if you don't focus it on specific target and hold it on that target long enough, you will not accomplish as much as your ability warrants. He said, I don't care how much power, brilliance, or energy you have. If you don't harness it and focus it on a specific target and hold it there, you're not going to accomplish as much as your ability warrants. What is he saying? I'm sure you've heard the phrase, whatever you focus on will develop. And maybe you too have performed the common experiment that we all did when we were probably in secondary school, where you get a magnifying glass, you put it, you focus it, or you turn it facing the sun, and you put a piece of paper or a dry leaf under that magnifying glass. And after a while, you will see the paper or the leaf will start to burn. All you were trying to do, or we did then, or the experiment invariably is, all it was doing was focusing, capturing the essence, capturing all the rays of the sunlight on that magnifying glass, and then focusing those rays like as in a laser beam on the paper or the dry leaf underneath the magnifying glass. And because of the concentrated power, because of the focus, because of the intensity of the focus of the rays of the sun on the magnifying glass going through and harnessing it and converging it together, it sends enough power to the element underneath it to the point that it starts to burn. What am I saying? All you were doing, or all we did then, was to focus, to concentrate, to harness the power of the sun, direct it through the magnifying glass, bring the rays, as it were, that were dispersed into in different directions. All we did was to bring them all together and focus it through the magnifying glass onto the paper or onto whatever it is that is underneath the magnifying glass, and the focus becomes so intense that that item starts to burn. If that is the case, then what is focus? What is focus? Because in 2019, one of the things that we need to do, one of the things we must do, one of the things we must imbibe and embrace and really pursue with everything with God is to grow, is to develop, is to increase, is to expand, is to achieve more, is to become more, is to be better. But all of that can be done. All of that will be achieved to the degree to which we are focused, to the degree to which we pay attention, to the degree to which we harness our power and our abilities and our strength and everything towards a specific goal so that we can achieve it and be better for it. So what is focus? What is focus? Focus is the state or the quality of having or producing clear visual definition. Focus is the state or the quality of having or producing clear visual definition. Focus is adapting to the prevailing level of light to be able to see clearly. Have you ever walked into a room that is in darkness, complete total darkness, and the first thing you do is you squint your eyes, you try to adjust your eyes, you try to moderate or condition your eyes to the level of light in that room so that you can see. That is focusing. Or you go into a place and there's so much bright light shining into your eyes, and immediately you squint your eyes, you narrow, you reduce the amount of light coming into your eyes so that you can adjust the aperture of your eyes to be able to see clearly. Focusing is paying particular attention to the center of interest or the activity that you are concentrating on. So in life, if you and I want to be successful, if we want to excel, if we want to make exploit, if we want to grow, if we want to develop, if we want to increase our level, we must know, we must learn and understand and master the art of staying focused on our goals. Focus is a fundamental switch that you can turn on or you can turn off. It is a switch. It's an ability. It's an inherent ability in you and in me to use the power of harnessing our attention, our concentration. Focus is a thinking skill that allows you to begin a task, carry on that task without procrastination, and maintaining that level of attention and maintaining that level of effort on that task until the task is complete. Focus is a thinking skill, the ability to think, and that will allow you to start a task, carry on with that task without procrastinating, and maintaining the same level of intensity, the same level of attention, the same level of details until the task is completed. That is focus. Focusing helps you to pay attention in the midst of distractions, in the midst of setbacks, in the midst of failures, in the face of hurdle, in the face of rejections and obstacles, but you still maintain your attention. You sustain enough energy in you that is needed, that is required to achieve your goal and reach your destination. That is the power of focus. So as you can see from the onset, if this year is going to be different from 2018, if this year is going to be different, if the achievements, if the accomplishments, if the exploits, if the results that you want for this year, 2019, is going to be different from 2018, one of the things that you must and I must, that we must work on is the power of focus. The power of focus. Mike Hawkins said, you don't get result by focusing on results. No, you get result by focusing on the actions that produces that result. Now, a lot of people sometimes do confuse focus with concentration. But there's a difference between focusing and concentrating. Concentration is the act of isolating your attention or an aspect of your conscience on a specific task. That is concentration. When you isolate your attention, when you isolate your consciousness, when you isolate your thought patterns, when you isolate your ability to see something from everything else and you put it on a specific task, that is concentration. But focusing means directing your time, your attention, your energy to a limited number of issues so that the outside noise, the outside influences that are there are not allowed to distract you from the important thing that you are focusing on. Concentration involves energy. Just like the example I gave with that magnifying glass, that is concentration. When you concentrate, your energy level flows into that object that you are concentrating on. Until that energy, that concentration starts to form words, form images, form visualization or reaction, as in the case of the magnifying glass, where it starts to burn. The more you concentrate, the more the object that you are concentrating on becomes reality, becomes real, the more you see the reaction from your concentration. You see, there is no shortage of distraction in life. I mean, you know that, I know that. We live in a world that is very busy, that is extremely noisy, that is full of activities that are clamoring for your attention and my attention. So if you are trying to focus, for instance, on your work, that's the time your family responsibilities start to beckon on you. If you move your attention to your family responsibilities, that is when your work suddenly, your work volume increases. So you need more time to give to your work. Not to talk of your hobbies, your learning aspirations. The TV is making noise, the internet is going. Maybe you play video games, you want to pay attention to your social media, and on and on and on and on it goes. There are so many things in life these days that are clamoring, that are pulling us, that are dragging us, that are begging us, screaming at us for our attentions. Not to talk of other external factors that you don't even have control over, like the government, like the politics, maybe the weather. All of that are also screaming at you. So when you look at the world we live in today and the volume of noise, of things going on at the same time at a neck breaking speed, sometimes you wonder, how do we get anything done? How do we get anything done that we do at all? But in order for us to do that, in order for us to see through all the noise, in order for us to make headways, we need to focus. But then, when you look at your life and you look at your environment, when you look at people around you, when you look at your colleagues in the office or at work, when you look at people in your neighborhood, there are some people who just seem to know how to break through, how to walk through, how to manage, how to get things done, even in the midst of all this distraction. Even in the midst of all the noise and distractions and the chaos and the calamities and the issues and the everything going on, there's still this set of people, somehow, they get things done. They just seem to get answers. They just seem to find a way to make it work. They just seem to have a way of putting it all together. And you wonder, how do they do that? How do they tune out all this noise? How do they focus so tightly on the things they need to do, on the things they are doing, so much so that they just seem to get results? So you start to admire them. You start to wonder. You start to ask. You start to even go as far as to be jealous of them. Some people will even take it to the extreme and resent them. Why is he always working for you? Is it only you? We work the same job. We live in the same neighborhood. We eat the same food. We go to the same school. Our children are in the same class. But somehow, you just seem to get it done where I am struggling. Excuse me. Just 1 minute. just wait. I'll just switch off the heat. Sorry about that. So you have these people that somehow they get things done. They get answers. Things are working for them. And you wonder, in the midst of all of this, how are you guys making it? Who are these people anyway? What is the difference about them? What makes them unique? Why are they special? Why are they getting results? Well, the reality is there are reasons for that. There's a reason why these people seem to be getting answers, where some other people are struggling. But the good news is we're going to be looking at some of the reasons why they are getting answers, why they are making headways, why things are working for them, why they're not struggling like most people. The first thing about these people is that they have learned, they have mastered the art of clearing the noise. They have the ability to clear the noise. Like I said earlier, we lived in an environment that is very noisy and very polluted. Very, very just chaotic. And if care is not taken, if you are not careful, the chaos around you can easily take over your life and start to control you and start to pull you in the directions that you don't want to go to. You don't want to go. But these people that have a way of doing it, of getting results, what they have learned to do is that they have learned to focus by controlling. The first thing they do is they control their environment. They take charge of their environment. What do I mean by that? They set up a physical and mental and emotional environment that is conducive for what they want to do, for the things they are concentrating on, for the task at hand, so much so that they have a way of shutting out, cutting off, and almost oblivious to the noise and the chaos around them. They are able to shut out the noise, the distractions, the concern, the worries, and all of that, because they are able to focus on the task at hand. When they focus on a project, when they are dealing with a project, they get rid of all the beeps and all the grains and all the distractions and all the notifications, like your phone is beeping, your email is sounding. No. When they are doing a project, they focus on it. They cut away every form of distraction. When they are interacting with another person, they give that person their full, undivided attention, as if you are the only one in the world. And to them, at that time, you are the only one in the world. They turn off their smartphone. They put away their iPad. They ignore the phone ringing. They give you their full, undivided attention. What they are able to do in the chaos of the world is that they are able to switch off the noise. They are able to clear the noise. They are able to isolate themselves, as it were, from the midst of the chaos, so that they can focus either on the task at hand or the person that they're dealing with. In this segment of the program, we're just going to look at what differentiates these people. Why are these people different? What is in other words, what's the secret to their ability to focus and get results? So the first thing we said is they have learned to clear the noise, to switch off the noise, to ignore the noise, to live outside of the noise, of the chaos, of the crowd. The second thing they do is they create a plan. They create a plan. They make a plan. When I was in Teachers College in Esige College, Abudu, in Nigeria, we were told that if you fail to plan your lessons, then you have planned to fail in the class. If you fail to plan your lesson notes, then you have already signed off to fail when you get to the classroom. So these people, they create a plan. You see, if you don't know if you don't know what to do first, if you don't know where to start, you will spend a lot of time, you will waste a lot of time and energy and resources trying to figure out what to do. Like what just happened to me now. If I had switched off the heater before it started, when I was sweating, I would not be, because the heater would have been off. But because I didn't do that, I then had to stop what I was doing to go and switch off the heat. But these people, they have learned to create a plan so that they're not wasting their time, they're not wasting their energy trying to figure out what to do. You see, focused people always have a plan. Plan A, plan B, plan C. Should this one not work, then this is what we're going to do. They always have a plan. They have a clear picture of where they're going and, more importantly, how to get there. A very clear, reasonable idea, tested and verified idea of how to get there. Some years back, I was serving as PPA, as we call it, Pastor's Personal Aid. And so every now and again, we'll get a guest speaker to come to our church. And so one of the things I did was I designed a checklist for all the people that serve with me in that department. And for those who will be driving, one of the things they have to do is the day before they are due to go and drive the guest, they have to drive the route they're going to take. They have to find at least one or two alternative routes. Should that route, the original route, be blocked, then you must have alternative routes that you can use. And so that's one of the things people who are focused, that's one of the things to do. They have a plan. Then they have a backup plan, and a backup plan to a backup plan, so that they are never without a plan. They set up a structure path to where they're going. Usually they don't tolerate anything that seems like, I'm not sure of this. And at the same time, their plans are not usually very elaborate and too difficult to understand, to read. No. It could be just bullet points. A, B, C. But they know what to do at any given time. So when the whole world is tumbling down and everyone is going crazy around them, they just follow their plans. They just follow their plan step by step by step. And so one of the things that does is, even if along the way they get distracted and they veer off the plan, they go back and the plan takes them back to where they stopped and they continue from there. And that is why people like that, in the midst of the calamities and the issues of noise and crowd and this and that, they always get result, because they have a plan. They are focused. Another thing about people who get results is they have learned to live in the now. They have learned to live in the now. What does that mean? History has value for learning, and the future is worthy for guidance, but all progress happens in the immediate. History has value for learning. The future is worthy for guidance, but every progress happens in the immediate here and now. So focused people, they are always present in the moment. They pay special attention to their environment. They pay a lot of respect to lessons that needs to be learned. They have a clear vision for where they're going, but they are hyper aware of what is happening around them, about them, here and now, right now. Do you know why? Because they understand that without the understanding, without the knowledge, without capturing the essence of now, they will miss their preferred destinies, and their opportunities will walk past them without recognizing it, and they will live up regretting afterwards. If you don't learn to live in the now, you will be like one of those people. Somebody said there are different categories of people in the world. Those who make the news, those who hear or read the news, those who ask what happened, and those who didn't even know anything happened. But the people who are focused always live in the now. They are aware of what is going on right now. Another quality or another trait of focused people is that they have learned to embrace failure. They have learned to embrace failure. See, one of the unfortunate things about life is that people see failure as the end. People see failure as they only see the bad in failure. They see the negative in failure. They fail to see the positive that comes out of failure. It is very tempting for us naturally to assume that when you set goals, you will attain it, you will achieve it. That if you have set a goal, you are most likely to accomplish that goal. And that is true. But you and I have lived long enough to know that even with the best plan, even with the most detailed plan, there is always something that is lurking in a corner that can knock that plan off its track. Just like that. So disappointment is always part of every plan. Disappointment in missing the mark, if you are not prepared for it, will eat you up, will demoralize you, will cause you to give up on your vision, on your goals, on your dreams, will cause you to throw in the towel, will cause you to just give up and walk away, when you could just be one step away from your breakthrough. But you see, people who are very focused, because they always have a plan, and a supporting plan, and a fallback plan, and a plan B of the plan C of the plan D, they always know that somewhere in their plans there is room for failure. So when it happens, when they fail, when they are unable to achieve their purpose, people that are focused, they are very quick at looking at the failure in the face, recognizing it, accepting it, appreciating it, but then they go to the next level. They'll learn from the failure. What are the bad assumptions that were made that led to this failure? What were the bad decisions that were made that caused this failure? What were the bad actions that were taken, that were done, that resulted in this failure? And so once they identify those ones, they make necessary adjustment, then they get back on track and they start going and keep going again. But you know what a lot of us will do? The moment you hit a barrier, the moment you come face to face with a quote and unquote failure, we think, oh yeah, I always knew there's nothing good that can come out of this Nazareth. I always knew. And oh, they said it. Oh, somebody said it that nothing good can. And we condemn ourselves, beat ourselves up, discourage ourselves. Even when others are trying to encourage us, we refuse to take it because we fail to embrace failure. But people who are focused, they know failure is not the end. Failure is not the destination. It is just a hiccup on the way. It's just a pit stop to refuel, to refocus, to re-energize, to put things back in shape again and keep going. That's why they get results. People who are focused, they create routine. They create routine. You see, being disorganized is one of the greater causes of distraction. It can be stressful and it can lead to inefficiency when you don't know where it is. Where did I put that thing? Oh, where's my car key? Oh, I thought I left it here. Oh, maybe it's upstairs. Then you go upstairs. Oh, it's not upstairs. Maybe it's in the garage. And then you're going round the house looking for your car keys. How many times have you been told by your wife, put the key on the key hook by the door so that you know where it is? How many times have you been reminded where you left your socks? How many times have you had to go through the whole filing cabinet from A to Z looking for a document? Meanwhile, that document is under a pile on your table. Because you are not organized. But you see, people who are focused, they don't allow mess or chaos around them. They don't allow mess, they don't allow chaos, they don't allow confusion to stand in the way of their objectives. If you are not organized, then get somebody who can do it for you. I remember one of my bosses that I used to work for said, apply the D's. If any document comes into your hand, deal with it, or delegate it, or delay it, or destroy it. People who are focused don't allow distractions. They don't. They are so organized. They know where this is, they know where that is, they know when this is due, they know where that is going. In other words, control the things that you can control. The ones you can't control, find them out. Let somebody who can do it, let them do it. Don't try and hoard everything, because it will only lead to confusion. Another thing about people who are focused is that they don't believe in this mantra of multitasking. They would rather work methodically rather than trying to multitask. I know multitasking is a big thing in the management world and administration circle and all of that. But if you really understand what multitasking is, you will agree that it's not all that is said to be. And that's not something we can go into at some other time. But you see, really focused people, they know that multitasking is a sure way of accomplishing less work. And even the little work that is done, they know by multitasking, it is usually of low quality and it takes more time to complete. Now, I know a lot of management gurus out there are saying that's not true, that's not true. But like I said, that's a discussion for another day. But so far, I can tell you that multitasking is not all that is said to be. Because when you multitask, ultimately you achieve less. The little that you achieve is of low quality, and you spend more time trying to accomplish the little, all in the name of multitasking. So what do people who are focused, what do? They schedule, they plan their day. They compartmentalize every aspect of the day. This will be done from this time to this time, and it will be completed. If it's not completed, it will be moved to the next stage. Then we will move to this one, and then they compartmentalize every aspect so that they give their full attention to that aspect that they're working on per time. That way, they can think clearly and focus more on what is at stake, the task at hand per time. Not while they're doing this, they're thinking, I might as well use the left hand to turn this while I use the right hand to knock that one, all in the name of multitasking. It doesn't work. So people who are focused, these people that we talked about who always get things done in the midst of the chaos, one of the characteristics they have is that they work methodically. They plan their work and then they work their plans. Another thing we must know about people who get results, people who are focused, people who are completely focused on the task at hand. Another characteristic trait about them is that they don't second guess themselves. They don't second guess themselves. What do I mean by that? One of the most debilitating thing anybody can do to himself or herself in life is to compare yourself with another person. The moment you start comparing yourself with another, you've lost the battle. Because there is no way that you can be exactly like somebody else, because you are created to be different from everybody else. I know it is very tempting to look at other people's achievements and their accolades and their progress and their this and their that, and use that to say, can you believe we were together in the same secondary school? You know, he used to come to my house. I used to feed him. Look at him now. I can't believe that after all these years, I was a better student. I was this than him. I was that. Stop comparing yourself with another. Because those who are really focused-minded people, they know, they understand that too much worrying about the performance, about the position, about the place and the office and the title of another person, all it does is it demoralizes you, it drains your energy, and it leaves you feeling worse than being alive. In fact, when you start to compare yourself with somebody else, you completely get drawn into their lives and you completely abandon your own life. They're getting more results, you're getting more angrier, and you're having less done for yourself. So people who are really focused, they appreciate competition, but they don't get themselves drawn into thinking they are less than another person because they don't have what the person has, or they no. They know their lane. They focus on their lane. And the good thing about focus is if you stay in your lane long enough, you will have the same result. One of the downside to not being focused is that you get easily demoralized and demotivated. You get easily demoralized and demotivated. But you know what focused people do? They recognize that life is not a bed of roses. So when they do well, they compensate themselves. They pat themselves in the back. They reward their own doing. They recognize and appreciate and celebrate their achievements. Just like when they make mistake, they learn from it, they go ahead and continue to push. When they do good, when they have accomplished, when they have made progress, they also know how to reward themselves, how to pat themselves in the back, how to enjoy and celebrate their victories. They create a reward system for themselves for completing a task, so that can help them, that can motivate them to go into the next level. And also, it's a way of holding themselves accountable to the goals that they've set for themselves. Focus people. They set clear compensation plan, reward system for themselves. So the thought, the mere thinking that if I complete this task, once I complete this task, there's a reward waiting for me at the other end, it keeps them going. It keeps them going. Somebody sent something to me this morning on WhatsApp. Oh, that really blessed me. If I can find it. Sorry, bear with me. It says, if you have a strong purpose in life, you don't have to be pushed. Your passion will drive you there. Oh, I really like that. If you have a strong enough purpose in life, the passion, the consuming passion for that purpose will drive you all the way to your destination. Now that we have looked at the traits, the character traits of focused people, within these few minutes that we've got left, let's quickly look at. If you notice, I didn't say you have to do all of those things. All I was doing was letting you see who these people are, what these people are, how these people are, why these people are, why and how and who and what makes them different, unique, and special. So, in these last few minutes, we're going to quickly look at the need for you and I to understand the power of focus. Because unless you understand it, you will not have the conviction, the passion to drive it, to run after it, to lay hold of it. Focus can bring a tremendous amount of power to you. But if you don't have it, if you are not focused, you will feel drained, you will feel empty, you will feel useless, you will feel you can't accomplish anything. Your ability to focus, the ability to focus is perhaps one of the most important skill that anybody can learn or master on the journey to success. The ability to focus, to pay attention, to remain on track, not distracted. The reason why I said it is perhaps one of the most important skills that you can learn is that when you are focused, you get things done about half the normal time it will have taken you. If you are focused, if you are laser beam focused, most of the things you are doing, you will do them in half the time it will have taken you. Because when you are focused, your talents, your abilities, your business, your career, and everything around you will gain direction. There will be a purpose for everything you do. You won't just do things haphazardly, maybe not. No, there will be a purpose because there is a force that is driving everything you do. You will do things intentionally, not just anyhow. And eventually, it will pay off. Big dividend along the line. So, it is important for us to understand the power, the potent, the energy that is contained in the ability to focus, in the ability to be focused, to be laser focused on what is at hand. So the first thing you need to understand about focus is that focus does not come naturally. No, it doesn't. It does not come naturally. It's not a default setting. You have to develop the habit of being focused. You have to learn and master and grow and take hold of yourself in order for you to be focused. Especially when you look at the world in which we live in, with all the noise and the chaos, all the infinite choices and opportunities that are abound everywhere you look. If care is not taken, if you are not focused, you get pulled in different directions and you get nothing. Like they say, you spread yourself too thin and you become ineffective in all ways. The first law of success, especially in this noisy, crazy chaos and this busy world that we live in, the first law of success is the ability to concentrate. It's concentration. concentration, like that magnifying glass and the paper and the rays of sun. We concentrated the rays of sunlight into that magnifying glass, and it went through to the point of burning the paper on the other side. So the first law of success is to learn to concentrate, give attention to, focus on something, bend all your energies and your effort, your everything towards a target, towards a directed goal, and don't give up until you've achieved it. Focus does not come naturally. You have to do it. You have to find it. You have to force it. You have to build it. You have to develop it. You have to make it. Make it a habit to be focused. Make it a habit to be focused, that you are not distracted. Even though there are so many things saying, look at me, I'm here, hello, how are you? No, keep your focus. Keep your focus. So the number one thing you must understand about focus is that it doesn't come naturally. It takes effort. Number two thing you must know about focus is that it energizes you. Once you lay hold of it, once you take hold of it, once you are able to cultivate and harness its power, it fills you up with energy. If you want to achieve something, if you're going somewhere, you must know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, everywhere you reach, you arrive at, will look like it. If you are not focused, you'll be everywhere. You'll be everywhere. Attempting everything is like attempting nothing. Attempting everything is like attempting nothing. You've heard the phrase, jack of all trades, master of none. When you try to be everything, when you try to do everything, when you try to be everywhere, it will suck life out of you. It will sap you of whatever energy you have. It will blindfolded you from seeing the opportunities that are right in front of you. And it will diminish whatever momentum you think you have that is going to take you to where you're going. And it will leave you dry and empty. But if you focus your energy, there's no stopping you. So the second thing you must know about focus is that it energizes you. It gives you energy. Focus will also, you must understand that when you are focused, it will lift you. It will elevate you. It will promote you. The world, nature, it has the ability to recognize people who are focused, who are going somewhere. And so what nature does is, what the world does is, if he sees that this person is focused, is going somewhere and is passionate, is concentrating on it, the world will stand aside, will give you room. Come pass through. It will let you go through, because the world, because nature understands the fact that you're not just wandering, you're going. Especially in this world where the whole world is living in mediocrity and averageism. Everything is just maybe just about just so. But if you know what you want to do and you make an effort to pursue it, before you know it, you distinguish yourself from the crowd. You stand aside, you stand aloof, you stand above the crowd because you are focused. Focus has an impact. It makes an impact. It leaves an impact. It generates an impact. Just by you striving to become better than you were yesterday, than you were last year, just by you making the effort, nature, the world, life will elevate you. It will lift you up slightly above the average, slightly above the mediocrity level, slightly above the normal level. And even if you don't accomplish the height that you set for yourself, if you don't reach the destination that you were planning to go, just by you making the effort, just by you staying focused, just by you paying attention, the world will still step aside for you. It will recognize your effort. It will appreciate your tenacity, and it will reward your focus. There is no way you can shoot for the stars and remain unaffected by the effort that it will throw back at you. It's not possible. If you are focused, it will lift you up, it will elevate you, it will promote you. If you are focused, it will expand you and your life. When you are focused, it will expand you and expand your life. Oprah Winfrey said something. He said, when you focus, what you focus on expands. What you focus on expands. Now, that seems like an irony. But it's true. Whatever you focus on, it will expand. For instance, maybe you were thinking, oh, it's time to change my car. And your wife says, so what type of car would you like? Say, I like the Audi A7. I mean, it's kind of a nice car. I just kind of like that Audi. Oh, okay then. Suddenly, virtually everywhere you look, there's an Audi A7. Everywhere you turn, there's an Audi A7. It's like suddenly there's a rainfall of Audi A7 all around you. No, they've all been there all along. But because you are not focused on it, you can't see them. But the moment your focus is now centered on that object, on that Audi A7, guess what? Everywhere you look, there's an Audi A7. That's why what you focus on will expand. By narrowing your view, you actually widen your perspective. By narrowing your view, you actually see clearer. You see more distinctly. Whatever you focus on will develop. What you focus on will expand. So when you focus on your goals, your life will expand. Finally, as you finish, another thing that you must understand about focus is that it must be intentionally sustained. Focus must be intentionally sustained. You remember the first thing I said was that focus doesn't come to you naturally. It's not a natural default setting. At the same time, you have to do something to sustain it. Just as light will naturally loses its focus as it gets wider and the beam throws bigger and goes further, it will lose its intensity. The same thing with focus. It is not natural for you to remain focused for a long time. Somehow, some of the tenacity will wear out, will fall away, will dissipate. But it is by your intention. When you are intentional, then you will sustain and maintain the same level of focus. To remain focused for a long time takes a lot of effort, but it's worth every ounce of energy on the long run. A Hall of Fame baseball player called Hank Aaron said something. He said, "I think what separates a superstar from the average ball player is that the superstar concentrates just a little bit longer than others. Just a little bit longer than others." If you are a football fan or supporter or follower, you will have noticed it, where your team has been defending ferociously. The attacks are coming, but they're defending. And then it was the last minute of the extra time. And because somebody just take their eyes off the ball, boom, it's in the back of the net. But the superstars, they stay concentrated just a little longer than an average player. And that's what makes them superstars. So if you want to expand your capacity, focus. If you want to grow, focus. If you want to achieve, focus. If you want to excel, focus. If you want to be elevated and promoted, focus. 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 Because it's worth it. And it will pay off big time at the end. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for today's program. Thank you for being part of it. We're going to keep digging on this topic for a few more weeks, because we're just really just trying to open it up at this level. There's so much we can get out of this topic. And like I said at the beginning, if you want 2019 to be completely and significantly different from 2018, this is the key. This is the key. This is the power that you need to change the course of your story at the end of 2019. If you want to expand your capacity, if you want to be elevated, if you want to be filled with energy, if you want to achieve something, if you want your life to count, if you want to make a difference in your world and the world at large, focus. Thank you for being part of today's program. It's been a great honor to have all of you. Please, if you have not shared the program, let's go and share it. Just click the share button at the bottom of your screen now and share it. Let somebody be aware of the key to making 2019 a prosperous year indeed. Give them the opportunity to learn what it means to be focused. And remember, we are not quitters. We are winners. We have to, because there's a life that is set before us. And we must lay hold of it, take hold of it. And the key, part of the keys to that, is what we're talking about tonight. So we're not going to give in, we're not going to cave in, we're not going to throw in the towel, we're not going to throw our hands up and surrender. No, we're going to be focused, laser focused, until we arrive at our destination. So that everyone that will see us will say, surely, these are better men and better women. Thank you for your time. I'll see you again next week. Until then, have a glorious 2019. God bless you. Bye-bye.